The Epic Game Store is quite literally a premature raw piece of garbage fucking mess created by a company who made far too much money far too quickly and is now spending it like a teenager with their parents' credit card information. This type of activity is seen by any lotto winner because they just can't help themselves, but in the case of businesses, they start to believe anything they touch is gold. In this case, the idea of competing with Steam is a golden idea, don't get me wrong, with the potential to create a ton of money. However, the idea of that made Mr. Tim Sweeney's mind explode in a Mr. Wonderful greed-crazed type of way.
I just want to make money.
His act of pure arrogance led him to believe that launching a store void of industry-standard features was a good idea, and spending loads of money to secure timed exclusives for this featureless store was the way to secure customers, when in actuality, those customers are likely only there to visit their friend in prison and will exit promptly once finished. If we went back in time and Mr. Tim Sweeney thought things through, this store could actually be a competitor to Steam right now instead of everyone's punching bag, with only the possibility of being a competitor in the future. Why? Well, here's a roadmap full of reasons. The Epic Game Store is a steak served ice cold that has all the potential to be great, but it just wasn't fully cooked. Launching the service prematurely ensures that any money spent on locking up timed exclusives is pretty much wasted because customers feel like they're beta testing a prison facility instead of walking through a fully featured mall. I keep bringing up this prison analogy because the only feature the store seems to have is timed exclusives at the moment, so that's kind of their own fault. There are numerous things lacking from the Epic Game Store in its current state. The store itself is extremely minimal with barely any functionality. The store looks like an afterthought on the launcher because it was. There's no achievement system, there's no shopping cart, there's no user reviews, there's no logical search functionality by genre or tags, poor DLC support, no cloud saves even, there's no wishlist functionality, no in-game overlay, the social functions are limited, and the list goes on and on and on. Hell, the store just recently got a search function and the ability to preload games. It's embarrassing. And that's not even looking at the security issues that could be present on the store because it's not that popular of a store yet. There's not really a lot of hackers trying to break into it like Steam currently. We don't know. So that's another thing that's a huge concern. And now that this store is launched, it's not like Epic can go back, and I'm not suggesting they can go back in time to prevent them from launching it too early. However, no one should accept this store in its current form or defend it. It's silly to defend this thing. I mean, Epic's not a victim. They did this in themselves all because Fortnite's massive success wasn't enough for them in the short term. They could have delayed this for a while and made sure that they launched a fully featured platform. Instead, they had to also try and overthrow Steam. It's just like the saying goes though, if you go for the throne, you better not miss. Epic missed, and it's now up to Steam if they want to execute them where they sit, or just let them potentially make a comeback as a stronger business in the future. One thing is for certain though, we as a community need to make a choice. I choose a platform that's free and fully featured, not one that's full of timed exclusives and no features. What's your choice?